Last year, we had the Spacewalk Space Festival. It was the first Spacewalk Space Festival. Our motto is join our spacewalk because we want to gather everybody with us and learn more and share, as I said, mentioned before, knowledge. So we encourage students from gymnasium to lyceum, high school students, on this project, and project school attend the Kition Astronomy Academy. To participate here, either in Greek, English, or Russian, they have to perform to make as more research on a project, either an idea or something that is already going on that they want to explain to the general public. So they come here, they present their project. The best 3 projects are being awarded, and also you can also participate by presenting any of your astrophotography or any photography related to nature. Okay. Thank you. So this was the CYPRUS expedition in Oregon and Tennessee. Me and Alexandr, we visited Oregon with the JPL team, with Mr. Jim Wiggins, he's going to be online with us now, and the rest in Tennessee. And Katie went to Tennessee. It was a great experience, a bit scary, a bit undercover, but Katie, I need to thank you. So these are our pictures from the totality. We had the moon blocking the sun, so we had the solar corona invisible. We took pictures of it, and we did our science. Okay, here we had a cooperation with the English group in Nicosia, a project from the Kition Planetarium Observatory that was sponsored by Mr. Kition, our space scientist. We managed, after hard work she did for the last 2 years, and our projects, and with the help of CETA, PIM, ICT, our sponsors, Polycom and Delta, we managed to set up a connection with the space station, and we actually talked from radio to radio with the astronauts. It was astronaut Van de Heijn, and we invited gymnasium lyceums all over Cyprus, and we had this connection in English in Nicosia. This is the connection.
NA1SS, NA1SS, this is W6SRJ calling.
This is us calling the International Space Station.
NA1SS, this is W6SRJ calling.
You're asking one question to the other.
Roman Juliet, this is November Alpha 1 SF. How do you read it?
Read you 5 by 5. Mark, you ready for the first question?
So this is.
I sure am.
Thank you. Go ahead, Petros.
What experiments are you currently working on? Over.
There are between 200 and 300 experiments at any time on the space station. I've personally participated in one that involved maneuvering satellites inside the space station, and another one that helps grow non-animal protein sources potentially for future use in space travel or on the Earth.
Hopefully soon we can put Russia contact. And because we have a lot of interest in science in Russia, and so hopefully we have something similar. We can like how to last year it was the International Astronomical Union celebrations of 100 years with the mission Under One Sky. So we are all civilians of this planet. The International Astronomical Union was started in Paris in 1919, and it is an organization which is about all organization as far as approving names for the celestial bodies and coordinating the rest of the laws, let's say, for space. So this organization is also responsible for dividing the celestial sphere into asterism. So when we find a new planet, we submit the name and they have to approve it. So the new borders, as they were set up. So if you believe in zodiac, don't believe anymore because it's changed again in 19. They changed lately. And they send us a small message. The beauty of the night sky is not for sale, but it is free for all of us to enjoy. International Astronomy Union. Well, actually, this has two meanings. It's not for sale. Why? Especially yesterday, many people went online and they post for their boyfriend or girlfriend some stuff, giving them names. This is forbidden. This is not allowed by the International Astronomy Union. Nobody can vote it or selling clothes on the moon, for example. So this is one message. The other message, which is very important, we all need to protect our planet.
Welcome to Kition Planetarium Observatory.
Good evening.
Good evening, George.
Hello, how are you? Okay?
Hi, good. Yes,
okay.
How are you?
We have a very honorable guest here. We have people from the Russian embassy. We have people from the local authorities. We have a lot of guests and friends who are joining us. And we are waiting to hear from you. Our friend and colleague, Mr. Alexandr Prokofyev, our astrophysicist, just talked about you as more introduction, how you met on the bus 2006 during the eclipse. And we haven't said anything yet about the, actually I mentioned about the great American eclipse 2017. And I've showed there the flag with your signature there. Great honor. So, good evening from Cyprus. We are going live, I believe, on Facebook.
Good evening. I'm in Edinburgh, Scotland, and it's 10 degrees Celsius, which I believe is warmer than Cyprus at the moment.
Yes, it is indeed. Here we have, if I'm not mistaken, 6 degrees at the moment. And it's a bit humid as well.
I've been sick the last few days. I thought maybe I had the coronavirus, but I'm surviving. So I guess it was just a normal cold.
Yes, everybody's afraid of this coronavirus now.
I know.
We want to hear something about your experience in JPL and the missions you participated and the eclipses. You're an eclipse hunter, and also tell us about the group in back in Matras in Oregon.
Yeah. So when I worked at JPL, I was working in the Deep Space Network, which is responsible for telecommunications. So basically receiving the data back from the long distance space probes like Voyager and Pioneer. Mm-hmm. So we would collect that data from a large radio telescope, 70 meters in diameter, that's located out in the desert where there's less noise from other sources like radio stations and things like that. So we would go out to the desert and stay in the Deep Space Network station out there and process the data from Pioneer 10, Voyager 2. Those are the main ones that were our focus because they were the most distant space probes, and they needed special processing to recover the signal because it was very weak coming from so far away. Mm-hmm. So we were developing new technology. At the time, it was new digital technology. Everything up to that point had been analog. So it was quite interesting project to be working on, and that was some time ago now. Mm-hmm. After that, I just became an eclipse chaser, among other things. I do software development, and when I can, I say goodbye to my job and go and chase an eclipse to some place in the world. Like Alexandr said, I first met him in Egypt, which is very close to where you are, in 2006. And then again, we met up in Novosibirsk in Siberia, in Russia in 2008. And I think that was the last time I saw an eclipse with Alexandr until the Great American Eclipse in 2017.
Well, we had great time.
Yes, that was amazing. And I have some of the slides I sent were pictures from that. But I can talk a little bit about the next one. The next one is coming in December 14th, in South America. And that's the middle of summer in South America. So that's a good time to visit South America. And actually, a lot of the conditions are very similar to the eclipse we saw in Oregon 2.5 years ago. You basically have the eclipse coming in from the Pacific Ocean, going across the part of Chile, which is there we go. Yeah, excellent. So those are the tents that we stayed in Oregon 2.5 years ago. So all of these tents had astronomers and friends and so on. The next slide will show you one of the major challenges that we had was the problem of forest fires, burning, wildfires, putting a lot of smoke into the air.
Yes. I remember traveling through the fires.
Yes, when you came across the mountains, you came through that area, and we were very worried about the visibility, how that would affect the visibility. So there's a picture of what the smoke was doing in the sky, and as you can see, the sun is barely visible. So it would have completely ruined the eclipse for us. Luckily, on the day of the eclipse, the smoke cleared out mostly, and so we were able to get a good view. On the next slide, let's see, what's the next one here? I think it's a picture of our campsite, or our sorry, our observation site up on the
Solar Ridge.
Yes, up on Solar Ridge, yes. So that's sort of what the landscape looked like. And we found a good spot with a place that we could drive to, and some people put tents there the night before and stayed up there all night before the eclipse. The eclipse was in the morning.
With a great view of Mount Hood.
Yes. I think the next one, see what we get the next one here.
You remember the shadows coming towards us from that way?
You can't forget it. It was amazing. It was just amazing because, and this is something similar in the next eclipse. It's also a place with a lot of volcanoes, which are just big mountains that stand alone with a lot of flat plain around them. So you have a chance again to see that same kind of effect of the shadow rolling across, and one mountain will disappear into the shadow and another one will disappear, and then one will be out back in the sun, and it really gives you a good sense of the three-dimensional space of the shadow coming across the land. And that would be possible from somewhere near the border of Chile and Argentina. because that's the divide of the mountain chain. The Sierra Nevada, I think they're called in that area.
The CYPRUS expedition is preparing.
Yes, good, good. Everybody is still talking about different locations. Some people want to go to the place of the greatest eclipse. There's one place which has the maximum visibility. Here we have everyone after the eclipse are signing the
Yes.
banner.
Our friend from Ukraine.
Yep,
And
we have Alec there from Ukraine.
Larry Thaxton.
Yep, Larry Thaxton's there. And who is that with their head tilted over?
I don't know.
I can't tell.
I don't know.
So yeah, so we had quite a great group of people. Some of the other pictures show more of the group and the telescopes. I wanted to show also some of the devices that people invented to watch the partial eclipse. Because when you have a partial eclipse, you can't look at the sun. You have to use solar glasses like these. And when you have those on, you can't see anything else. You can only see the sun. But another way to watch the partial eclipse is to make a tube and put a pinhole on the end. And from the pinhole, you get a projection of the sun. There's Phil with his version. So you can see it's a tube, a long tube. On one end, he's got a piece of aluminum foil, and he's put a tiny hole in it as a pinhole. And then the part where it's sort of an L shape, he actually looks into that part of the tube, and he sees the projection of the pinhole from the pinhole down. He can see the projection of the sun. And by looking into the tube, it keeps everything nice and dark, so that because it's not a very bright image, it's just coming through a pinhole and it's not magnified. But this device here, you can actually see sunspots on a normal day. You can see, the partial phases of the eclipse, and you can make them out of all sorts of things. I had a few more examples there where people used cardboard from Amazon, something they got in the mail from Amazon. They used a box of cereal. That was very clever. A box of cereal where the pinhole is behind your head and you're looking into the box. So these are things that the people at your planetarium could actually build and try out on any day when you have a good sun to look at. This was one of the most creative ones.
Yes.
Was someone used a colander for making spaghetti, and it has all the holes in it, and so they just held that up to the sun with a white sheet underneath. Excuse me. And you can see it makes all these little images of the sun. Each hole makes its own little image of the sun, and if you look carefully, you can see that part of the sun is scooped out by the moon.
Yes, we have a picture of that on the CYPRUS flag.
Yes.
The sun being eclipsed.
That's right. Yes. That was very creative. So there's basically the group of people there.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the people there, everyone wearing their eclipse glasses because the totality had finished and the sun comes back and it's quite bright again. It
was my first time I experienced totality. We have experienced CYPRUS around 92%. I don't remember when it was.
In 2006, probably, right?
26, 29, I don't remember. Anyway, and but this time was totally different. It was kind of scary because
yes,
everything went darker. I couldn't believe seeing the planets and stars.
Yeah,
And
the planets.
the breeze, and it was amazing.
Yeah. So maybe we can skip down to the picture of, it's called 18, number 18 picture. If you could pull that one up.
Good.
What I have on number 18 is basically a map that shows where the next eclipse is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
December 14th. It doesn't cross very much land, but it's good enough. We have plenty of space to choose a good site for watching it. And like I said, it's in the middle of summer in the southern hemisphere, so it's a good time to go. The next one will show, 19 will show using a software program called Stellarium. You can give it a location and you can give it a time, and it will show you what the sky is going to look like. And so that next picture, 19, is of is what the sky should look like at the moment of totality, or during the 2 minutes of totality. You should have Mercury just near the sun, Venus off to the left, and Jupiter and Saturn close to each other, almost in conjunction over to the right. And the sun will be nearly straight up in the sky at that point. It's going to be very high in the sky, which is a good thing for eclipses, because when it's too close to the horizon, there's a lot of chance of some clouds or haze or obstructions to block it. So the chances are very good of observing this next eclipse. So it's really one that a lot of people are planning to go to.
And we have the planets as well.
Yes.
4
So
planets.
that's what the sky should look like during the totality.
Mm-hmm. It's worth here saying to the people who follow us online that Stellarium can be downloaded for free. Just Google search Stellarium and you'll be prompted to the latest version, and you can download it for free. And from there you can create your own show. You can denote your location. You can see the ecliptics, everything, night, day. You can follow the stars, the constellations, the meteor showers, deep sky objects, everything.
Yes, it's amazing software, and it's free, which is great. And well, I mean, that's about as far as we've gone so far in planning for this next eclipse. But things are starting to gear up, and we're starting to make more and more plans.
We have a group here that one of our groups actually who do science research. For actually we're searching for asteroids. We use the Catalina Sky Survey, and we do EMO research for the International Meteor Organization, and that's part of our research work. And most probably, I've heard that they are interested in joining us as well in South America. So let's see if we can create a larger team and bring with us. This is going to be a nice experience again.
Yes. So I'm very optimistic about the next eclipse. Yes, it's going to be a good one.
Mm-hmm. Is Oleg following us online as well from Ukraine? I've seen the chat now. Yes.
I think he's here. I see him on the chat.
I've sent him the link. So Oleg, hello from Cyprus. Yes, he's there. He's on. Hello,
Hi, Oleg.
I would like to take this opportunity for the break to say a big thank you to our friend Virginia Zakaryan, who was so creative and made this 12th year anniversary birthday cake for our.
Whoa! That is amazing.
Happy birthday to you.
So we have I'll bring it closer. We have the planets.
Saturn is here. Uranus is Ops. And our new observatory. But the telescope is coming out from the dome.
Otherwise, no one would recognize it.
On a starry night.
That is great. I mean, you can't eat that cake.
Yes, we have to keep it. So I would like
You have to put it in exhibition.
Yeah. Virginia Zakaryan. Cakeology is called Science of Cakes. Thank you very much. We will eat later with some snacks here to celebrate our 12th year anniversary.
And now we know for sure everything about last year's celebration of International Astronomical Union and 100 years, and that's why it was the great program for us, for all of us, for the planetarium. Every time when we have something public, educational, or whatever, we constantly mention International Astronomical Union celebration. And actually, a part of just being celebrated, we have something extra. Let's have a look. We started with a real program of 100 hours of astronomy, and it was okay. George wants to do something silently. Suppose. You may make me a bit lower, another chair, and that's all. Thanks. Well, so we started with 100 hours of astronomy, and there was another event especially made by International Astronomical Union, and our own event, so there were a lot of them. And we had total lunar eclipse, which could not be visible from Cyprus, but due to international cooperation again with Gianluca Massi, we observed it from the United States. So it was really impressive. And we made other international projects like International Darwin Day or Asteroid Day or World Space Week. So many events which we made. And during our asteroid day, that moment we discussed about our own discovery. Kition Planetarium Observatory participated in asteroid search, and this warrior asteroid 2019 AN16 is waiting for more romantic names than what we have now. That year brought us to discovery of supermassive black hole. And practically immediately after the discovery, in the nearest months, we had Science Cafe about black holes. It was throat singing from Mongolia, and our friend Dr. Iris Harlambidu gave talk about her visits to Mongolia. And our Science Cafe always open for some special events which going on here in Cyprus in the different areas. And last year was incredible because on the 18th of February there was celebration of Daxi Business Awards, and we were nominated for innovations and the best business of year. We did not win any prize, but we were innovated. And we had a lot of educational programs for children. for example, CYPRUS spacewalk. And during that CYPRUS spacewalk festival, we had connection with Lisa McHughes. Thank you, Jim. You helped us to connect us with her. Yes, perfect. Thank you, Lisa. Well, and really it was incredible. From my point of view, it was really impressive that children presented their own work, their own scientific achievements. And we had education for grown-ups, such as Perseids observations. And after the discussion, we made observations themselves. Right here, do you see our dome? Here it is in some sky, starry sky. And this is the result of meteor observations in CYPRUS this year. And we were in or I don't know how to say that in English, so jury committee, judge knows better the English words. So here we are during NASA SpaceX challenge, and one of challenge was about making new probe on Venus. NASA and European Space Agency, they wanted to send a spaceship probe, clockwork one, which will cradle on Venus and send collecting data. So the winning comment was about how to make memory for it. And we have many educational programs, and one of our, mostly we concentrate of talented students in CYPRUS. So this is one of our next achievement. Have a look here. Did you see it? So this is a fireball which happened just recently on the 21st of January at evening. And it brought I believe that it was our efforts that we collected 197 reports from CYPRUS and nearest areas about our fireball. It fell on the sea, but frankly speaking, the quantity of reports that we got is much more than similar event which happened over the whole United States. So it's really impressive and incredible result. And this result is partly mainly because of the Kition Planetarium Observatory was appointed by International Meteor Organization as a contact point for such events, for fireballs. So that what you saw is the slide of Wonders, a short film by Eric Wernquist, and I invite all of us to see it.
For all its material advantages, the sedentary life has left us edgy, unfulfilled. Even after 400 generations in villages and cities, we haven't forgotten. The open road still softly calls, like a nearly forgotten song of childhood. We invest far-off places with a certain romance. The appeal, I suspect, has been meticulously crafted by natural selection as an essential element in our survival. Long summers, mild winters, rich harvests, plentiful game. None of them lasts forever. Your own life, or your band's, or even your species might be owed to a restless few drawn by a craving they can hardly articulate or understand, to undiscovered lands and new worlds. Moby Dick, spoke for wanderers in all epochs and meridians. He said, I am tormented with an everlasting itch for things remote. I love to sail forbidden seas. Maybe it's a little early. Maybe the time is not quite yet. But those other worlds, promising untold opportunities, beckon. Silently, they orbit the sun, waiting.
So Call of the Sky gathered all of us together, and let's celebrate our anniversary, how we do it.
Thank you very much, Alexander. Jim, comments?
That was a beautiful film. I'm curious though, it was narrated by Carl Sagan, but the graphics seemed like it was something more recent than done after he passed away, I think.
It was after he passed away, yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Very nice and inspiring as well.
It's inspiring. So shall we keep a piece of cake for you?
Yes, please.
Which part? The telescope, the dome, the Saturn?
Oh, just a few stars, maybe that would be enough.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay, thank you very much for being with us tonight. Thank you
for inviting me. Yes.
A big privilege. We feel privileged, and we will talk this coming week and see what we can do for joining the team for the eclipse. I'll try to gather some people, if we may, to join us this time. Is it okay? Since we are not going officially somewhere for, we're going to be, you know what I mean? We're going to be a group for chasers this time, so we can bring some guests with us, yes? So we can enjoy it.
Yes.
And we can also do our science research there with the solar corona and rest things that we want to do. So, so hope to hear from you soon, and hope to go online again with another webinar, most probably on a, I don't know, maybe on a mission or something, or some other news. What about the group? The group that we are affiliated with in back in Oregon? The group that you have created. I'm receiving on all the details here. I've seen that you left behind you some very active members, and I'm glad.
Some people are very excited now since the last eclipse to come to the next one.
Yes.
I will be going back to the US in a few weeks, and so I'll be making contact directly with some of those people.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we need to just keep in touch and keep the conversation going and develop our plans for viewing that eclipse.
Most probably we'll have with us this summer Lisa McHughes and Larry Thaxton. So hopefully you are coming as well.
I hope so.
Okay, that's good news.
I'm planning to come back at some point.
You promised.
It's hard to promise at this point. There's some complications for me, but including visas and things. But yeah, we'll work something out.
That's
it always
great.
happens. We can always make things happen.
Okay, we can do some research from Cyprus.
Yes.
Great. Much. Thanks for the honor. Thank you for being with us during our 12th year anniversary celebrations of the Kition Planetarium Observatory. Great honor again. And see you soon. Goodbye from Cyprus.
Yes. And enjoy your cake. Enjoy the beautiful cake.
Be sure I'm going to eat the cake. Take care.
Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.